everybody, and welcome once again to IGN's News, Games, and More. If the title didn't give it away, this is a show about all of those things. I'm your host, Max Scoville, joined by my esteemed colleagues, Casey DeFreitas, David Griffin, and Seth Macy. Now, spoilers, if the title News, Games, and More wasn't enough, there's also a big spoiler in the thumbnail for this video, which is the fact that it seems pretty likely that the release date for the Microsoft Xbox Series X will be November 6th. And we found this out from a bunch of stickers that they put on boxes for controllers that say, don't sell before November 6th. Seems like a pretty cut and dried situation to me. Seth, what do you make of this?
Well, I was looking at the sticker, as is my want. Big fan of stickers. And yeah, I mean, I've worked in retail. I've seen those street date stickers before. However, in my 3 seconds of research, I didn't notice any Xbox branding. That could be a box of CDs for all we know. For
Who's
perhaps,
selling CDs in 2020, Seth?
The CDready.com.
Fair enough. Casey, what do you think this is? Do you think this is a dead giveaway? Do we have a picture of the sticker somewhere? It's a very nice sticker.
It's a fine sticker. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to recall. So we were on here predicting when the Xbox Series X could launch a few weeks ago. And Amazon France leaked a date that was also in November, and I'm trying to recall if that date matches this one, because if it does, I think I will trust it. Let me report back.
Did you see the sticker, and what did you think about the sticker? Do you think it's true?
Honestly, all right, the one thing that would make me think that it's legit is that it comes in a few different languages. So that could be a good sign. That means it's legit. I feel like it's maybe more than just like KitchenAid's latest mixer or something like that. I think this could be something big, something very important. But I mean, it is just the typical box with the no magnets. It has the umbrella for the rain and all that. So I mean, who knows? But I would say because it's in different languages, I think it's pretty legit.
I'm canceling my pre-order. I was hoping for a waterproof console. Now this does actually come hot on the tail of there was that controller for the Xbox Series S, which showed up, which sort of spoiled that there's going to be two little consoles this generation, or one big one and one little one. And that had a bit of copy on it that kind of corroborates this, which said that what is it? It's like the warranty would be void on November 6, 2021, which sounds more or less like it would be a year long warranty from release. Here's the sticker that we've been talking about, along with those exciting graphics of no magnets allowed.
There's nothing that identifies that as Xbox.
No,
That's
I also wanted to really quickly correct myself. It was the PlayStation 5 release date that may have been leaked by Amazon France, not the Xbox Series X. And that was potentially November 20th. So just kidding, not the same console, not the same date, totally different thing. But now you know that I was wrong.
That's fine. I mean, it's always the different worldwide locations of Amazon that reveal these things. Uh-oh, David's gone. Well, hopefully he'll be back. But yeah, I don't know. This seems like I kind of wish we would just get some announcements, like it would be kind of cool if we just got some big old release dates that we could put on the calendar and have something to look forward to.
Because everyone needs that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that. That's basically it. I
really do think this is legit, especially if the quote unquote leaked. Wait, why did I say quote unquote? The supposed PlayStation 2 is the 20th, because we've got all those big games coming out like first and second week of November. Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed. I think we know that that's the window. So I do really think that this is probably legit, and we will be seeing the Xbox Series X on store shelves beginning November 6th.
Yeah, and we heard yesterday that Microsoft, sadly delayed Halo Infinite. That was the big story then. And they were like, hey, but, silver lining, the Xbox is still coming out in November. And it was like, you could have just said the full date then, You could have been like, maybe like, hey, this thing's not showing up. But on the bright side, here's this thing to distract you. But,
That would have been nice. Yeah, that was a blow.
We don't get good news in 2020. That's not how that works. So I guess shifting gears to more questionable news, one thing that I think people have been sort of skeptical but cautiously optimistic about is Netflix's live action remake of Avatar: The Last Airbender. which did have series creators Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. I hope I'm saying that right. And they have since departed over creative differences.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
So
I'm so disappointed about this.
Casey, take it away.
Okay, so we all know what happened with the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie made by M. Night Shyamalan, and it was not good. I kind of made fun of our producer Destin for saying Aang, and I was like, no, it's Aang, because that's how they say it in that movie, and it's terrible. But that was bad, and we were hoping that this could make up for that, and that could give us a really good realization of what The Last Airbender and the world would look like in real life. And because the showrunners were on it and they wanted to keep it true to the original, I had a lot of high hopes. Like maybe they could add a few new characters. I know there were some rumors that they would be adding new characters that would have more representation. But other than that, we haven't heard about any other changes. And from this letter is kind of a little bit heartbreaking. But DiMartino actually quotes Uncle Iroh on how he needed to search himself to figure out what he needed to do with this project. And he said to keep his creative integrity, he needed to step away.
Yeah, it sounds like the worst thing.
Yeah, right. It's just, he says it's just not what they were envisioning. And I mean, I think this quote says it well. He says, and who knows, Netflix's live action adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying, but what I can be certain about is whatever version ends up on screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make. And man,
RIP.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I mean,
that was it.
I like that explanation. Like I feel like there's not a lot of great stuff you can say about this, but that's a very kind of graceful, professional way of going about it while still being honest. And I think two things to keep in mind is that they really didn't do this this adaptation any favors by making such a good show to begin with. Like no matter what comes out.
What are they thinking? God.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, you could compare it to the movie, which automatically will be better than that, I think. But yeah, and then I think flip side of that is that like there's got to be a little bit of frustration that comes with this as a creator, because they already made Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like you'd think that maybe life is short. Like maybe they want to go on and just make something new. Maybe they want to. Maybe this project wasn't coming together as easily as they'd hoped. I can't imagine that the pandemic helped development. And yeah, I mean, maybe it was one of those things where it was just a lot of back and forth, and they were like, "Screw it, we're going to walk away and see what happens."
Well, I was hoping that the live action version could tell the entire story how they originally wanted to tell it, because the original Last Airbender, as we all know, was only 3 seasons long, but they originally intended it to be 4 seasons long, one book for each element. So I was hoping that maybe we would get an expanded retelling of the story with some of the elements they weren't able to include in the original. But now I have a lot less hope for that.
Oh, we lost David again.
Oh,
he's cutting in and out.
We didn't even get to say hi.
Originally, we intended for there to be 4 hosts for this show, but we only have 3 due to concerns, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's very easy to look at like projects like this and really be like, oh, like it's a no-brainer. Like, what could possibly go wrong? But there's so many moving parts that come with making really anything of this scale. And I don't know. I think we've seen varying production quality from Netflix. Like sometimes they knock it out the park, and sometimes they really make something that falls apart. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'm
I've really enjoyed a lot of Netflix's adaptations and originals. But even just recently, I've been watching, I don't know, YouTube chat. Let me know how you feel about this. But I started watching Cursed, and I think that just didn't hit very well. And that was another kind of fantasy style show. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm personally really I'm curious, but extremely skeptical about what they do with Cowboy Bebop, because that's like one of my favorite.
Is that still happening? I thought that was just straight up canceled.
I haven't heard it's straight up canceled. I know they shot some of it, and then what's his face who was playing Spike got really badly injured on set, and then the pandemic happened. So it's sort of like, what do you do? Like, it's right. I mean, it's weird because I think right now we're actually going to see a huge probably a pretty big surge in new animated projects because those can be done remotely, whereas there's a whole lot of hoops that have to be jumped through to safely produce anything live action involving like studios and sets and especially large numbers of people, in light of COVID. So like, whereas if you're doing, cartoons, you can
Keep
email
drawing.
that. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can put that on Newgrounds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Sorry, it's David's talking head over here. I was just gonna say that having some technical difficulties, but I'm just really disappointed for the fans, and I mean, I'm one of them. If I had my camera, I was gonna show you guys my, I have a bunch of the graphic novels, and I have the Steelbook set. I'm a huge Airbender fan, and it's just sad that because the Shyamalan version of the movies just didn't match, not even close to what the animated series on Nickelodeon. It's just sad that we're not going to get their vision, a live action vision from Michael and Brian. I really wanted to see that. I mean, and there's also so many creators from Airbender that have gone on to do just great things. I mean, Dave Filoni was a director in the Airbender series, and of course he's gone on to do the Clone Wars and Mandalorian and all that. And then you had Aaron Ehas, who's over at Netflix, and he's working on The Dragon Prince, which is a fantastic story. And it's just too bad that we're not going to see their vision of the live action. But like they said, I mean, it sounds like they're saying, hey, we have creative differences, we got to go, but maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's just, I don't have as much hope now that they're not a part of it.
I think there's also that sort of uncanny valley you get with anything that is a remake or an adaptation, where if it's trying to be too close or too one-to-one, it's not really doing anything new or that makes it unique. Whereas if it strays too far, then it's like, why did you bother calling it an adaptation, or why did you use that namesake? But there's this kind of sweet spot where if it gets it right but is still sort of transformative, and I mean the idea of adaptation, meaning that it adapts, like it changes to meet the demands of the medium. Like something that works as a book doesn't necessarily work as a movie or a TV show, and something that maybe works as an animated series is probably a lot more difficult to do live action. Like, I mean, animation is extremely costly to pull off, but if you can make stuff like this happen in 2D animation, doing that with like live action people with special effects has got to be like a massive undertaking, just getting that to work. And that's not not even counting how you how you squeeze the sort of length of that story into the right time frame.
Right.
I was gonna say, I just don't know if you remember seeing that first art piece that came up, that it was like it was conception, and it was just it was Aang, and it just, I don't know, it got me so excited, and then I heard the original writers were on there, and it just got me so pumped. So again, sorry, Seth, I was just saying, it's just really disappointing.
No, it's actually, that I remember when that sort of hit the internet and everyone just lost their minds. Like everyone was so stoked on this, and now, what are you going to do? You hope for the best. You expect the worst.
Well, hey, luckily the original The Last Airbender animated series is still out there and watchable right now. And I just finished rewatching it a few days ago, and it's still really, really good.
That's kind of the key thing about any remake or adaptation that doesn't stick the landing is just go watch the original. Also, Sonic Edge, who's just spamming. Who is that man who is not moving? That is David, who's having connection issues. So we've got this wonderful JPEG to go with his dulcet tones.
I'm sorry, everyone.
It's all good. That's how I am in all the company meetings when I haven't shaved or showered or put on clothes or whatever. I'm just like, it's me, my avatar.
I'm wearing pants, I promise.
Now moving on here.
I wanted to say real quick that Daniel said when is the release, and we're not totally sure, but the original Last Airbender,
the Xbox release, which
the Xbox release.
Yeah,
oh, just kidding. It's in the thumbnail.
It's in the thumbnail. We gave it away. It's also, you could type that very same statement into the Google, and it will maybe come up with the answers faster than asking human beings on a live
November
chat show
4th.
to answer it. 6th. We're thinking.
I knew it was one of those single digit
based on
numbers.
stickers that are on a box that could be for other. It could be full of other stuff. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's. I guess while we're talking about things that may not ever see the light of day or that haven't. I don't know, whatever. Speaking of things that I'll just go to the next story. I don't have a good segue here. Screw it. Forget it. So Project Ragtag was the tragically canceled Visceral Star Wars game that was not visceral, like it was going to be full of guts and stuff, but like Visceral, the guys who made Dead Space, were working on it. This is the one that had Amy Hennig from the Uncharted series as a creative director, and the entire studio got kind of shuttered, and everyone got very cross with EA, and we never really saw anything from that aside from just a brief, 3-second long glimpse of what that game might have been. But Ex-Visceral Games producer Zach Mumbach said, did an interview and talked a little bit about this, saying that it was set to be an amazingly well-crafted 12-hour experience, and saying that they had the chance to make the greatest Star Wars game ever and a possible Game of the Year contender. And this is a cool detail. We really don't have much to go on with this game, but the team had a set of unfinished levels and a set piece involving a crazy ATST moment. You were on foot, running from it, and it was trying to hunt you down, but you were more agile, slipping through all these alleyways and just barreling through and crashing and using all the destruction of Frostbite. And very much, Mumbach described the gameplay as Star Wars Uncharted. That sounds exactly like Uncharted, where you get chased by that truck through Nepal. Like I feel like that's just like they replaced that tank with an ATST, and that's like the same sequence. But
yeah, I'm super cynical. I mean, I can also say that I was working on a Star Wars game that was the greatest of all time, and there's like, you can't say that I wasn't. Maybe
yeah, I mean,
I had a
it's
spec sheet.
Yeah, it's weird to say like this could have been. I mean, like a doodle on a cocktail napkin could have been the greatest movie of all time if you used that as a concept sketch and turned it into a movie. But the whole thing is you have to you have to deliver. I'm super bummed this game never came out. Or that at the very least, that we haven't seen more of it. I think it would be really cool to actually get, I don't know, dump the asset, show off what could have been. It'd be a nice, at least sort of cold comfort.
Show us the stuff.
I was pretty excited about the collaboration. You know, of course, Amy Hennig, Uncharted, but then also Visceral Games. I was a big Dead Space fan. I like the Dead Space trilogy. Yeah. So the fact that Visceral was teaming up, I wanted to see Visceral do something else, and it seems like we're never going to get another Dead Space title. So I was again, I know it's all about potential and what could have been, but just seeing that guy just kind of walking out of the bar there, you know, he just looks like a Han Solo type character, like an Uncharted character. And I don't know. Yeah, right. It coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I don't know. It looked really good.
Yeah, I just wish we'd seen more of it. I honestly really hate how EA release or reveals their games, because they'll just do like a weird sizzle reel of a bunch of studios where it's like talking heads, and then in the middle of like somebody talking about how they're excited to work on a new property, it'll just show like literally 3 seconds of a never before announced game. Or they'll be like the way they announced Jedi Fallen Order was what's his name? The head of Respawn in the audience at like their little EA Play thing, and he's just like sitting in a folding chair, and he's like, "Yeah, the game is called Jedi Fallen Order," and they like put a JPEG up on the screen. It was like, that's it? You're just gonna like?
Well, I mean, I guess like Nintendo is like, here's a logo of Metroid Prime 4, and also we're working on a Pokemon game, but that's all you need to know. I mean, I guess all I'm saying is that other developers do it too.
Nintendo, they don't. Yeah. I mean, it's weird to go in the audience and be like, "Hey, so are you working on any games?" And he's just be like, "Yeah, we're working on Jedi Fallen Order. Check out the logo." Like, I don't know. There's a certain pageantry that I feel like wasn't there.
And that is way less fanfare than we saw
just last year, or this whatever the not EA thing was, or not E3 thing, where it was like EA Play Live, or that live stream they always do. They had, you know, people from, I think it was Motive, being like, "We're working on something new. We're really excited about next gen." And then they showed like, you know, somebody like one of the character models from the new Battlefield, but they haven't announced the new Battlefield. And they're like, "Yeah, we're really excited to keep making Battlefield games. Anyway, see ya." It was like, what are you doing? Like, they showed like some weird spaceman jumping around over like boxes, and it was like, "Yeah, well, we know you make games. That's what you do. That's your job. Like, we understand that you're working on games, but like, either show them when they're ready, or like maybe just cut like a longer trailer, or just keep that secret," because there's like just to sort of just spoil that in like a weird like, "Oh, by the way, here it is." Oh, anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, but then everybody has to comb through the footage, and here's the 21 things that we noticed in the 3 seconds of Battlefield footage. I mean, it just they know what they're doing. They got it on lock. They're EA. They've been around.
Do they? I mean, everyone's mad at them all the time. They got voted worst company in America like 3 years running.
Yeah, I mean, they're far worse.
Yeah,
that company that takes stray dogs and makes chemical weapons out of them.
Yeah, there was that company that made the car that had the hose on top of it that would just spray oil all over the road behind it. What was that? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very easy to dunk on EA, which is why I try to temper it a little bit. Right?
Yeah. No, that's fine. You can do that. I feel like they're like the biggest video game
deserve it,
company
though,
on
right?
Earth. Like, it's,
EA's fine. They're fine. They're doing all right.
yeah,
They had the potential to make the greatest Star Wars game ever, apparently.
yeah.
And they're so sure of themselves. They're like, no, we don't want to make the greatest Star Wars game. We're EA. And then they sprayed oil onto a beach.
They drowned all those poor ducks. They didn't do that. We're kidding. This is not.
We're just
Yeah, so
kidding.
there's-
Not
look at
really.
this motion
says-
JPEG thing. Yeah.
Chris says, "What are you talking about?" I don't know, Chris. What are we talking about?
We're talking about EA. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did they do with the ducks? What happened
We're
to the
talking
ducks?
about the Project Ragtag, the canceled Star Wars game from Visceral Games, which would have had an ATST chasing you, presumably through this very area here. Who knows? Oh, there it is. You blink and you miss it. That was all we saw of that game, aside from like a weird motion graphic.
Man, a desert city that's kind of in ruins with Imperial ships. We've never seen that in Star Wars before.
Hey, I like the desert planets. I like
desert
Mos
planets, too.
Eisley. I
I
want to hang out in Mos Eisley.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay, so this is good. We got a new game announced. I feel like this year has been a lot of things not happening, a lot of things getting sort of pushed and canceled. And today we got the announcement of G.I. Joe Operation Blackout, which is a brand new G.I. Joe, a real American hero video game that is coming out on October 13th of this year. It's coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. You can play as 12 characters. It costs Team Joe or Team Cobra. It is an 18-mission campaign in single player or local split-screen co-op and a variety of PvP multiplayer modes. Yeah. It has this wonderful kind of cell-shaded aesthetic. It has freaking Cobra Commander. Yes!
Yes, look at me! Yeah, I'm so stoked on this. I'm just going to show off right now. The 5 people at Hasbro sent me their classified series, 1 through 5, and it looks to me like the art style of this game, especially when you see Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes right here. It looks to me like it's based on this new line of toys, which, by the way, they did not send me the special edition Snake Eyes. This baby's mine, and you can't have him because he's real cool in there, hiding out. But I love G.I. Joe as a kid. I love G.I. Joe now, obviously. I ordered the cool Destro where he's like all pimped out.
That
you
is
know
a good one. Yeah, where he's got the stunner shades and like the Cobra or what is it, like a leopard print jacket or whatever.
And he's one of his accessories is a $100 bill that's on fire, and he's just
so good.
It's the best.
So what's really funny about looking at like a brand new G.I. Joe video game in 2020 is how much it looks like various other heroes. Like it looks kind of like Apex Legends. It looks kind of like Overwatch, and it's kind of weird how like those are very like G.I. Joe-esque to have this like ragtag group of very colorful characters who are like toting guns, but they're still kind of playful. I mean, like Overwatch itself is, I feel like, very heavily rooted in like old cartoons, and it looked a lot like that Insomniac game that never came out in the form of Fuse, which was called Overstrike, which was like very tongue-in-cheek, kind of a nod to the original G.I. Joe cartoon. So I'm happy we're getting a new G.I. Joe game that isn't trying to be like the Channing Tatum movie or whatever.
I still maintain that the best G.I. Joe game is Metal Gear Solid 5, even though it's not based on, but it's like you're playing with action figures and play sets and just doing whatever you want.
No, that is totally dead on. That is very, very true. It has the vehicles, it has the accessories. It's great.
Yeah, I know. And the NES G.I. Joe, by the way, highly underrated. Nobody ever talks about that. That's a great game. You should go back and for NES. That. Hey, come on now. I rented it one weekend. Maybe it was because I was a kid and we only had 2 days with it, but I loved it.
Casey, we're both showing our boomer side here. Do you know anything about G.I. Joe, a real American hero? Does it make any sense for you?
I know G.I. Joe was a cartoon when I was a kid. I also know they made a live action movie that I was uninterested in. I'm sorry, I have nothing to add to this conversation. But David, the game seems kind of cool.
No, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm the same as Casey. I watched the cartoon as a kid. I played with the toys when I was a kid. And then after that, I just kind of fell out of G.I. Joe world. I don't really know what's going on. I know The Rock was in one of the movies. I think he was in the second one, I believe.
The second one is super fun. The second one is like complete wackadoo bonkers. Not like the weird problem. These are both like the Michael Bay produced. I don't know if Michael Bay produced that one. It was the one that was trying to compete with Transformers. But like in the same way that the first the first Ninja Turtles movie was like kind of a dud. It was neither here nor there. The second one is completely weird and off the rails, and they have like Bebop and Rocksteady, and they have like the freaking van pulls nunchucks out and starts swinging them around. The second G.I. Joe movie has like it's totally toyetic. Like it's got like roadblocks in it. They go to Bruce Willis's house, and he's got like guns hidden in every cabinet for no reason, and then there's like, I don't know, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow do a bunch of cool stuff. It's a good time. It's really fun, but no one's the RZA's in it, like from Wu-Tang. Like he's
really?
Yeah. They got Jinx from the movie. It's great. I love it. I watched the G.I. Joe, the animated movie, way too much. I don't know why I do that. I have problems. Bad times. Anyway.
I also I don't have anything to add on the G.I. Joe front, but I know a lot of people have been wanting more split screen co-op or at least local co-op, and this game is going to deliver that. So I might check it out just because of that.
I'm just down to get it seems like a smaller game. Like it seems like a AA game, like the kind of stuff we used to get all the time. And now either it's like a massive AAA games as a service, cutting edge, multi-million-dollar make it or break it kind of game, or it's like just a iPad game. And it's like kind of I like the idea of just being like, hey, it's a video game you can play with your friends, whatever.
It immediately made me think of that Transformers game from a few years back that looked just like the cartoon. It was all I don't know if it was developed by Platinum, but it played like a Platinum game.
No, that was Platinum made that one.
Was that War for Cybertron?
No, it wasn't War for Cybertron. It was. It's killing me now. Somebody in chat is screaming.
What was that called? Yeah, that was cool. War for Cybertron was good too. That was the High Moon Studios series.
Yep. Also a bit off topic, but I would recommend checking out the War for Cybertron Netflix series that just came out. It's pretty cool.
I'm holding. My son and I are going to watch that because he's a massive Transformers fan.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Transformers Devastation was the name.
Oh yeah, it's a great game. Go check it out.
I love it. Fun. All right, so one thing we actually totally skipped over, I spaced on this. People are mad about this. Control, the critically acclaimed Remedy game that came out last year, almost exactly a year ago, that was out in late August of 2019, is getting an Ultimate Edition, which is going to be coming to next-gen consoles. And it's sort of a problem because it's the same game, and it's going to have all the DLC and all the bonuses. It is, as you can see, it was our Game of the Year. This is, I think, what in simpler times we would just call the Game of the Year edition, where they just bundle up all the stuff that came with the game and repack it a year later. People are pretty pissed off because if you want to get the sort of upgrades and bells and whistles that come with the next-gen versions of this, you have to buy this version, which is like, basically you have to buy the game again if you want it to look really cool on your next gen hardware, as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, the version you already have will get those sort of improvements for free.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Nobody's doing this. Everybody else is just like, hey, check it out. You can get it on the next gen too for free. How do you like that?
Yeah, it's weird.
People
You think they could have,
we love it.
They could have added an addendum, I guess. Like if you have the original edition and all of the DLC, you can then get the upgraded version on your new consoles, at least, right? But no, this is weird. What if you already bought the game and bought all the DLC, and you're not getting the same thing that everyone else is getting? It's not fair.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think it also highlights how small of a leap this console generation is, or how I guess the fact that presumably things are going to be backwards compatible. There's sort of an acceptance that we're going to be moving. I mean, on the Xbox side of things, it's straight up just this is a faster version of the thing you have. And then I think Sony's trying to get in front of the fact that the jump from PS3 to PS4, a lot of stuff got left behind. Mm-hmm. But thinking back to last gen, we got a bunch of stuff like this where the 2013 Tomb Raider got repackaged as the definitive edition, which is kind of the same deal. Dishonored got a definitive edition too. We got The Last of Us remastered, which was admittedly a much more sort of, I think, detailed overhaul, because they had to get it up and running on PS4. But I don't know. I guess this does feel kind of cheap,
Yeah, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it actually matters that much. I mean, how likely if you already have the game, you've already played it, you've already played the DLCs. I guess this DLC is coming out when the new systems are coming out, actually. So never mind. I guess there's a little bit different. But my point was going to be if you've already played the game, how are you going to play it again just because it looks slightly prettier on a new console? But
I was gonna say the only thing I can relate that to is I remember when was it Grand Theft Auto 5, and I think I've bought that game 3 times. Did Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, and it's crazy. I don't know if again controls quite at that level, but I think if the game's if it's important to you enough and you really love it, I think some people are going to fork over the extra cash. Just to play
GTA
it.
is definitely an edge case, but I feel like they did a good job of sort of highlighting everything that they'd added. Like they put out a trailer where they're like, "Great news! There's more grass now, and also you can eat peyote and turn into a cat, and we've added like more realistic lights or whatever." No, the entire game can be played in first person. They had enough things that were added onto that game to make it feel like, oh, this is GTA 5.5, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. This is for it to be sort of just a bundle of things that people already have. Like if people already have all the DLC and stuff, then like I don't know. There should be like a little.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say if people want to kind of take advantage of the raw horsepower of the Xbox Series X, because I know I played this game on a PC, so I have 2070 and I have the RTX ability. So I think with the new people are graphics freaks and they want to see what the RTX kind of technology can do, it might be worth it. But again, $40, I don't know.
Yeah, are they throwing anything new in? Or is it just straight up everything that you already have?
I don't think they've said anything about that yet. I mean, it's basically like it's the base game with all of the graphical upgrades of next gen plus the season pass worth of DLC, which is still coming out. But yeah, I mean, I saw someone, Mario Madness in the YouTube chat said, when is Skyrim coming to PS5? And that's like a great, that's going to happen. That they're going to do something where they're like, great news, everybody, Skyrim is coming to PS5. But I mean,
4K remaster.
I wonder what they can do with that. Like, cause that game has been like, they've like, what is it? They put out the Skyrim Definitive Edition or like the Ultimate Skyrim or whatever. That was Skyrim Remastered. That was like properly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you get a chance, if you just go watch some videos about what the mod community has done, on PC, and the graphics are incredible. They've changed the water, they've made the trees taller and fuller. The towns look, just more people, and I mean it's incredible. The shading and lighting is different. It doesn't quite look next gen, but what the modding community's done is pretty impressive.
That would be definitely cool to see on. I mean, if they're like, hey, cool, we added like it's Skyrim with ray tracing, we just put in that would be cool. But I think people would still be sort of like, why don't I already bought this remastered once. Like, why don't I?
I will be saying that as I'm entering my credit card information. Geez, here we go again. Look at me.
Remastered too.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with just how much time has passed between releases, and the fact that like Control's DLC isn't even all out yet is sort of salt in the wound to be like, hey, we're upcharging for like the newer version of this when like the dust hasn't even settled on the full sort of rollout.
Yeah.
Anyway,
does anybody? Sorry, side note. Does anybody remember Skyrim? I believe. I guess you have to fact check me, but I believe it came out 11/11/11.
Yep,
I believe.
I remember that being a cool day. I remember I picked up Skyrim, and then I also went to go see Immortals with Henry Cavill, which I can't say that movie holds up, but I remember that being a pretty cool day. Got a good game and saw an okay movie. 11/11/11.
Yeah, that like
I distinctly remember that day because I picked up Skyrim for my roommate, and I also picked up Chick-fil-A breakfast for him as well. Some chicken biscuits.
I had I just started doing like official video game job work stuff, and like I got an early copy of Skyrim, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, I lost my mind. And then my wife started a file on it, and she was going to dental school at the time, and she had to push back her boards, like your finals for becoming a dentist. She had to push that back because she spent too much time being a lizard wizard in the land of Skyrim.
Amazing. I told this story on NBC, but I used it to quit smoking because I knew I would be obsessed with it. And when I had a craving, I just said, no, I'm going to keep playing. So I played for like 12, 13 hours a day for 3 days straight. Got over the hump, cold turkey, and I haven't had one since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Highly recommend it, kids. Hyper focus.
Skyrim's cool. Anyway, that's about all the news we had. There's more news, but you have to go and find it somewhere else, or you have to tune in to this very show tomorrow at the same time, which is 4 o'clock Pacific. Different people will be here, but I will be showing up an hour later to do a brand new Up at Noon with my good pal Brian Altano, where we're going to be talking.
I'll be here tomorrow, though.
You're going to be here, Casey? What are you talking about tomorrow, Casey?
Whatever's going on tomorrow. I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll have to wait till the day turns to tomorrow.
What do you think? She's a soothsayer?
I don't know. People will sometimes be like, "Slow news day, IGN." We'll be like, "Yeah, man. What do you want? We don't make this. We don't make this up. What do you want to do with that?" But yeah, Seth, David, Casey, thank you for hanging out. Thanks to Destin for TDing behind the scenes, making the videos play and everything, and putting up cool JPEGs of David.
We love you, Destin.
And huge thanks. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there's the JPEG. And huge thanks to everybody who hung out in the chat. And hi, Twitch. Sorry, we weren't looking at the Twitch chat more.
I was looking at Twitch. I got you guys watching.
Yeah, there it is. Anyway, we're gonna pack things up. But thank you for watching. We'll see you later.
I'm waving.